support that, but I'm still out there in the street doing a whole lot of different things. And I was married. I got married too. As soon as I got out of high school, we missed that.
No. Go ahead. Let's get back to that.
As soon as I got out of high school, I got married. My wife was still in high school. I was 18, she was 17. Same wife I got now, Tauheedah. And when I got back here, I just, those were like the crazy 60s. And things was happening so fast in our lives, she said, you need to find something to make you stable. I mean, seriously. And I said, well, I guess you're right. So I went to the temple, and I've been there ever since. My logic was this. I've been to the army, I've been through all of this. If I got to die for anything, I'm going to die for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Not for Islam, not for nothing. I said for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Right. Now, we were going to get into the marriage. We just wanted to know, what was it like to meet Sister Tauheedah? For the first time, you see Sister Tauheedah. What was that like in your life?
I said, that's mine. I'm going to and she couldn't stand me, right? That was so funny. And we laughed at that now. That's mine. I'm getting that. I mean,
right.
When she had just transferred from Carver, I think, to Boogie Washington.
Okay. Oh, she went to BTW too?
Yeah, and she came there in the 10th grade. And I was in the 11th.
Okay.
Something like that, yeah.
Was she she come up in the neighborhood?
No, she was from, she ended up living in the Lamar Garden in the Foot Home, but she wasn't from there. She was over by Riverside.
Oh, okay.
Because she went to Carver.
Okay.
And she went to Hamilton or Carver, I don't know, but I know she had just came there from that school. I know she was a different phase at Boogie Washington.
Right.
And I wanted to meet her, so we met, and she didn't want to meet me.
Right.
But after a while, she was convinced she couldn't meet me.
Right.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. So, did you envision that you were going to have X amount of children?
I didn't envision nothing, but we were going to get together and be free. And it led from, it got serious after a while, and then right before I got drafted, that's what happened. I got drafted, and we got married right before I went in service.
Okay. So now you have a wife, and your first child was born here.
As soon as I got out the army, Oprah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
she was born in 73. Matter of fact, I had one child that died.
Okay.
But right after that, Oprah was born. But my first child was born in right before I went in the army.
Yeah. Sister Tauheedah, your child?
Yes.
A girl or boy?
Don't look at it.
Okay. And now
she knows I don't.
Right. And so now you have had 3 children now.
Yeah, 4. Really was double.
Yeah, 4 children.
So I had 3. Actually, we raised.
Okay. Now we are to the point now. Tell us about your jobs that you had in your life.
Lesson again.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I had a job at the Army Depot.
Okay.
That was one of my first jobs, the first day job. I did a lot of jobs. Like when I was going to school, I always worked.
Okay.
Worked at the Summit Club.
That's what now?
The Summit Club.
Okay.
Anderson, Oscar Bar. I worked my way through school. I always been a worker.
Okay.
So I worked at Anderson. These are all restaurants. You know, like you work at restaurants. I worked at a steakhouse. I forgot what it was, but all that to get things that I wanted that my mother probably couldn't afford when I was going to school, and I wanted it. So I went and got that job and worked. And a lot of people don't even know this history. Since you're saying that, because it's just coming back to me. And my first real job was the Army Depot. And I got there, and as soon as I got that job, when I got married, the next day I left Memphis and went to Chicago to get a job.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened.
Okay.
And I put in an application for the Army Depot, and I got a job in Chicago at Allen Radio plant or something like that on the west side. And I worked there about a month or 2. And then the Army Depot called me. So I came back down here. and worked at the Army Depot, and I worked there 6 months, and then I got drafted in the Army.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Okay. And then your other jobs after that was what?
Well, like I said, when I came back from the Army, what was so funny, I didn't have no job. They were supposed to, when you went in service after being drafted, you were supposed to be guaranteed your job back.
Mm-hmm.
And the Army Depot, government job, what everybody looking for,
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be the rest of your life, you know, you
Right.
set. But what happened was, when I got back, they said, you were temporary.
Okay.
So you don't have no job.
Right.
I said, what? Surprise. So I was staying with my wife's mother. We could have stayed with my mother and walk her home, or either with her mother and then put home. So I chose to stay close to downtown with her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And one day she came in and said, I heard they're hiring at the railroad. Because I had taken all kind of tests. Because I had been a clerk, so the test was easy to me. Post office, I took all those tests. And they kept telling me, you passed, we'll call you. So I went to the railroad, and this was a time when they didn't have any African Americans being a conductor.
Okay.
So I went and took a test to be a clerk, and they told me, because they didn't have any African American clerk or conductor,
Mm-hmm.
and the government had made a rule they had to have some, because they were getting subsidized. So I took that test, not knowing what you do, and they told me I didn't pass the clerk test, but I passed the conductor test.
Okay.
So I said, what they do? And they went showing me. I said, that's all they do. They said, plus you make more money than a clerk. I said, I want it. So they gave me the job.
And you've been there ever since?
Ever since.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it. That's the story on that.
That's the job. Okay, now, you're in the Nation of Islam. Okay, and you are one of the brothers. Tell us your experience as being one of the brothers in the Nation of Islam, and what did you do?
Well, like I said, I went to the temple a lot in 1968, and then I guess about 60. I didn't do too much in that. Then I didn't do anything. I didn't take no papers or anything. I just went as a visitor. I actually, like when my wife said, you need to do something and straighten yourself out, in 1974.
Okay.
That's when I went back on Florida and went to the temple.
Okay.
And I started taking it. I knew Brother Moose, so I knew most of the brothers over there anyway. So I started taking some papers. I didn't have my ex, so I didn't have to take 300. I just took what I wanted to. Like I said, a lot of things you just coast on. And I got to know everybody, and I pulled my weight over there, and for a year, from 74 to 75, I just got my ex, and they told me everything I had to do. You got to do this, you got to do this, you got to take. And I'm like, do I really want to do this? Because reality was that day. And right after that, Don Elijah Muhammad died. The Savior's Day. And Imam Muhammad took over. When he started teaching, I said, now, this is what I was really looking for. I mean, it hit me just like that when he said, we're going to do this. And
that was 75.
It's 1975 when he started teaching. I said, this is it. So when he came and changed the whole administration and everything, and Imam Nuri came, and everything just changed, and it was everything that I had been looking for and everything that I wanted. So I started, man, we put on some skates and started rolling that.
So you were under the leadership of Minister Sharif.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Right. I knew Minister Sharif wasn't good, really.
Okay.
He was a good man.
Yeah, tell us about
Well, that's what I'm
that's what
saying.
you know about.
I've heard a lot of things about him. Look, I had nothing bad to say about him. It was during a time when things was like that.
Okay.
And he never did nothing to me. I heard a lot of things, but he never did nothing to me. So all I got to say about him, he did what he had to do.
Okay. And
Like he did what he did.
Right. And did he have an impact on your life as a young Muslim?
One to sit down and told me one time, he said, son, you got a good job, keep your job. And I know in that time they were telling you don't work for the white man, quit your job and all of that. And the woman said, keep your job, man. You bring more money to the community like that than you can out there doing this. And certain things he just told me like that. And it was like that. It may have been with how I handled myself too with women.
Right. Sort of like wising you up a little, even in the initial stage.
Yeah.
Got a little wisdom there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we left Florida Street, went to the airport, went somewhere else, Midtown somewhere, and we were having meetings there under the leadership of Imam Nuri Salam.
That was the airport. We went to the airport.
Yeah. Right. And so, What was that like? I mean, leaving Florida Street, which was a historic place, and everybody.
Well,
but we dropped Florida Street.
What actually happened on that when Imam Muhammad sent Nuri here? Nuri was a born leader. He was just a leader. I don't know if you all know the history on it. I'll give you that later. But Nuri came on Florida, and it was so bad down there. I mean, the condition of the building and where we were meeting at, we started meeting at the hotel at the airport. Right. And even before Nuri came, we were meeting at the airport because Imam Muhammad was sending in different ministers to see who was going to take over here. I think Rahman came from Atlanta. We had some more ministers. Another brother came from Chicago. Who went down to Houston? An older brother, I forgot his name. Kamaluddin. He came. We had Narsi Ahmed come. We had Akbar. What's his name? Naim Akbar. Naim Akbar came too.
I did not know that. I did not know that.
I'm giving you history. Yeah, Naim Akbar came 2 or 3 times. He was real close to
so they were screaming to be the Imam. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's what happened. I mean, if you don't know your history, this is what happened. And out of all of them, he ended up sending Nuri. And Nuri came, and Nuri was from Compton. Nuri had left the masjid in L.A. and opened up one in Compton, which was like competing with Compton. Really had surpassed Compton, L.A. in business, in membership, and everything. Nuri, he was a leader, and he had the brothers out there selling candy, doing everything, just raising money for the community, taking it back to Chicago on that day. So when he came here, he told us, he said, the first thing, he said, we're not going back on Florida, getting back to Florida. He said, we're not going back, that's not people meeting. He said, we're not going back there. We had Amita Hassan, her brother Hassan, he was the captain. And they went looking out for some property, and they found this building. And we got this building.
Okay. Now, tell us about how Imam Nuri's salam impacted your life.
Oh, it's like Imam said, he took whatever you had in you and brought it out. I wouldn't say he put men in chills. I'd say he brought whatever you already had in you, he brought it out. Because he would ask you to do nothing that he didn't do. He never asked. And see, there's some people here who, he was this type of man. If you didn't like him, you had to respect him. Okay. And when you get a person like that, and you look at a person who come from straight out the Nation of Islam. First of all, Nuri was shot when they attacked the temple in Los Angeles and shot around the heart, I think 3 or 4 times and didn't die. And a lot of people don't know this story. When they put him in jail, he went to every hard jail or prison on the West Coast. San Quentin, all of them. They put him out. He told me they put him out because he was organizing the Muslims, so they didn't want him in there organized, so they put him out of jail. Right. So he was, like I said, he was a dynamic leader, man. And to show what kind of leader he was, when he came here, he didn't know any Arabic. Only thing he knew was the teaching of the Nation of Islam. And when Imam came in office, Imam changed everything. So Nuri changed step by step with the Imam, and as he changed, he taught us. And one thing he told us, he said, wherever your leader be, if he's anywhere in this area close, we get in a bus, car, that we're going to be there. So you'll know the same time I know what he's changing, you'll know too. So he never tried to hold back nothing from us. He tried to keep his community advanced and knowledgeable. And when you catch people like that, they want to keep you on. They have no fear of you trying to take over anything. Because what I saw was he educated us to travel. That's one impact he had on my life. He educated his whole community to travel. He said, if your leader is there, you've got to be there. So when he told us this, it's kind of hard for you. Imam Muhammad's going to be in Atlanta, and you said, well, I can't go. During that time, if everybody else was going, you had to go. So if he was in Arkansas, if he was in Texas, if he was anywhere in the Mid-South or the Southern area, we were there. Yeah.
When you first, earlier you said that when you first heard Imam walking in the Hummer, you said, this is what I would, this is what I've been looking for. You said that in his interview, right? Okay. During that rough transitional period, that we had. You remember, the Nation of Islam followed Imam Muhammad. What made you stick? I mean,
What
a lot
got
of
me?
people left, but what made you?
What got me, and this has been for me all of my life, and I didn't even know it. When he said, "Man is not God,"
Okay.
that got it, man. I mean, and cause see, I had problem in the Lutheran. The Lutheran didn't teach that much on Jesus. They taught more on God.
Okay.
And when I got in Christianity, first saved Baptist in the black church, because we had a Caucasian minister in the Lutheran. When I got around these black preachers, they were teaching on Jesus, and everywhere we went, it was a white man up on the cross. And then when I went to the Nation, they talked about blue eyes, blonde hair, and then I started thinking about this couldn't be right. So how could man be a God? How could God be a man? And then when Imam came in and broke it down real clear in the religion that man wasn't God, there's only one God, and that was it. And we started studying. That's one reason I didn't leave, couldn't leave. Because Imam kept us studying. We were studying every day. We were studying Quran. We were studying books. He was the first one to tell us about Carter G. Woodson, A.J. Rogers. He told us to read all these books, buy these pamphlets and read them. And when I started reading all this and reading Towards Understanding Islam, Islam in Focus, oh man, how could I leave that? See, I was educated and I was from the street. So when I see brothers in the Nation, yes, Holy Apostle, doing all of that, I see the same thing in church.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I didn't come to the Nation for religious reasons. I came to support Elijah Muhammad. But a lot of brothers still had that church thing where they were still wasn't out.
Right. Imam Muhammad obviously impacted your life. You just mentioned that. What was it that caused you to realize that I'm in a life cycle, I'm in a life situation here, I'm not going